This is Top Accolade Global News Updates. I am Soibifa Jagger. After spending more than 7 decades waiting to become sovereign, Britain's King Charles has been diagnosed less than 18 months since he ascended to the throne. Buckingham Palace on Monday announced that Charles, 75, would postpone public-facing duties while he undergoes treatment, but was looking forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. Charles became monarch on the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth, on September 8, 2022, having been the longest-serving heir apparent in British history. He was crowned on May 6, 2023. Some commentators had warned that the environmental campaigner, who was never shy to give forthright views on many issues as heir, would be a radical change, unpending the stoical, dedicated style of his mother. But instead, he has quietly settled into the new role with his busy routine, creating little drama that made the announcement of his health issues all the more of a surprise. I have been brought up to cherish a sense of duty to others and to hold in the greatest respect the precious traditions, freedoms, and responsibilities of our unique history and our system of parliamentary government, he said in his first address as king. Supporters and detractors have always acknowledged Charles' hard work and dedication to his duties, while commentators said that might be something that would have to change as he recovers from treatment. There was no indication that he had received the news about his cancer diagnosis when he appeared in public on Sunday to attend church with his wife, Queen Camilla. The one major shadow that has hung over Charles' reign has come in the form of his younger son, Prince Harry, and his attack on his family and the monarchy in his memoir and Netflix documentary with wife Meghan. But Harry, who has barely returned to Britain since he and Meghan moved to California in 2020, is jetting back to see his father after learning of his illness in a sign of possible rapprochement. As messages reaching the king were flooded in from head of state across the country, the world, some ordinary Britons said they had been shaken by the news. A grand project to help revitalize the railway town Sukkur lies buried on the mound of earth, serving as a bleak warning for Britain's conservatives and their fight to retain power. The large building site at the center of the town in northwest England was supposed to be transformed into a glossy retail and entertainment complex that would crown a bus terminal and car park already under construction. Voters across northern England were instrumental in driving the Conservatives to a big election win in 2019. Inspired by Boris Johnson's pledges to deliver the dividends, Brexit, and level up Britain's region, long the poor cousins to London. More than 4 years on, the political ground has shifted and opinion polls show the ruling party losing their support. A reversal that could help put in on course for a thumping national defeat by Labour at a general election expected this year. Johnson was ousted as Prime Minister by his own lawmakers over COVID lockdown breaches, triggering a bout of chaotic infighting that saw Liz Truss reign for a matter of weeks before she too was forced out and replaced by Rishi Sunak, whose own premiership has been marked by resignations and rebellion. The levelling up drive has since been dented by the axing of the northern leg of the HS2 rail network, a project aimed at better connecting up Britain's city and economy. In a move decried by the former PM Johnson as betraying the north of the country and the whole agenda of levelling up, many local businesses and residents had hoped the current Manchester spur of HS2 would bring billions of pounds of investment into the town. The northern leg was cancelled by Sunak in September as estimated costs for the overall HS2 project soared above £100 billion, that is $126 billion, and the infrastructure watchdog warned there was a fundamental problem with Britain's ability to manage such large projects. Sunak described it as a tough decision, but one driven by the spiraling costs as well as a reduction in passenger member following the COVID pandemic. Speaking in the northern town of Accrington in January, he said all money saved by cancelling the northern leg would be reinvested across the country. Drug maker Novartis said it will acquire MorphoSys AG, a developer of cancer treatment, for 2.7 billion euros, adding a promising rare bone marrow cancer treatment candidate to its portfolio. The Swiss group will offer shareholders 68.00 euros per share in cash and take MorphoSys private after the deal, which is contingent on certain conditions, including a minimum acceptance threshold of 65% of MorphoSys share capital and regulatory clearances, the companies said. Novartis has been cutting jobs and costs and spun off its generic drugs business Sandoz last year, part of a focus on fewer therapeutic areas and geographic markets. It has said its overall mergers and acquisition strategy was focused on deals worth less than $5 billion. MorphoSys shares jumped 15% to 66.10 euros after the open, while Novartis shared gained 0.5%. The Planegg, Germany headquarters MorphoSys will continue to operate as a separate independent company until the completion of the deal, expected in the first half of 2024. Novartis will own pelabresib, one of MorphoSys' most promising drugs, which is used to fight deadly forms of cancer such as myelofibrosis, a rare type of bone marrow cancer, and certain types of naughty lymphomas. MorphoSys said in a separate statement that its management board and supervisory board intend to recommend its shareholders to accept Novartis' offer. MorphoSys secured pelabresib with a $1.7 billion takeover from U.S. cancer specialist Constellation Pharma in the hopes of setting a new treatment standard. In December, pelabresib met its late-stage primary study goal and all 4 hallmarks of disease in myelofibrosis, which used in combination with ruxolitinib, a class of drugs called JAK inhibitors. The company now intends to file U.S. approval application for the combination treatment in the second half of 2024. For years, Novartis Jakavi was the only approved drug for the indication, but around half of myelofibrosis patients who benefit from the drug lose their treatment response after 2 to 5 years. More than 10,000 people gathered earlier on Tuesday to hold a vigil for the 1-year anniversary of the devastating earthquakes that hit southern Turkey, as some protested what they call government negligence in the aftermath. The magnitude 7.8 tremor, the deadliest disaster in Turkey's modern history, leveled towns and parts of cities in the country's southeast and neighboring Syria. It killed more than 50,000 people in Turkey, some 5,900 in Syria, and left millions homeless. In the southeastern Turkish province of Hatay, the country's worst hit, people called for the government and local authorities to resign during the vigil and demanded that officials do not present themselves at the memorial while bowing speeches. In the main square of the city of Hatay, located in the province, some chanted, "Can anybody hear my voice?" as Health Minister Fahrettin Koca spoke, a slogan referring to calls heard from under the rubble as people waited for days for help to arrive. Residents say many people died not because of the building collapsing, but rather from waiting for so long trapped in rubble in the cold. After the vigil, people tossed flowers into the Asi River, which runs through the city. President Tayyip Erdogan said in a statement on social media X that the pain of the loss from the earthquakes was as fresh now as it was a year ago, and his government had moved in the immediate aftermath of what they called the disaster of the century. Alphabet plans to seek external investments for GeoFiber, its business selling Wi-Fi and internet connectivity in parts of the United States, the company said on Monday, as it looks to ramp up its expansion to more cities. GeoFiber, owned by Google's parent company, competes with larger internet service providers including Comcast, Verizon Communications, and AT&T. Since vowing 14 years ago that it would boost internet speeds 100-fold through fiber optics cables, GeoFiber has expanded to 15 states, starting with its 2012 launch in Kansas. In the past 6 years, it has tripled its customer base, GeoFiber said, without specifying total users. It signed deals in 2023 that would bring its services to more than 25 additional cities. Still, the company faces competition from big incumbents and has yet to provide internet in large swaths of the US, including 6 of the 10 most populous cities, including New York. Alphabet declined to comment on the amount of funds G5i was looking to raise or the valuation it was seeking. G5i has already hired an investment bank to start the process of selling equity in the company, according to a source close to Alphabet's efforts. The future goal is for G5i to be independent from Alphabet, the source said on condition of anonymity. G5i CEO Dini Jain said in a statement, "We are now ready to scale this much faster." That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platform as displayed on your screen. Happy Tuesday.